Hi guys, I just came back from a really cold ride with the SV650 and I'm gonna grab myself some coffee and tell you all about why I've decided to buy this bike back after 3 years it's been with a different owner. So, stay tuned! So, to really understand how did I get to this point, I will have to take you to the rolling hills of 7 years ago, where I first bought my SV650. It wasn't a new bike when I bought it, it belonged previously to my husband, and then it just sat in a garage in Italy for about 6 years before we came and took off the sheets that covered it and woke it up. I have to say that I was very surprised because it woke up like on the first try, even with the old gas, so I was really impressed with the reliability of that bike. I was very excited because it was my first middle-sized bike. I used to have only like 250s before that. I used to own a TU 250 and a Kawasaki Ninja. It was called the GPX 250, and this was a bigger bike, it was a serious bike. And it was my first bike in Italy, so double the excitement, right? I cleaned it up and did some basic maintenance. We didn't even change the tires at first. So I started off riding it until I kind of started getting into the more sporty riding stuff. So things had to change, things had to be upgraded on that bike. First of all, we put better tires on it. I remember they were the first Dunlop Sport Smarts. They had such a crazy pointy profile, I loved them. When I got out of the shop with the new tires, it felt like the bike was falling on its own to the sides. It was my first experience with a sporty profile tire. So the tires had to change, and then we had to change the suspension, because the front suspension of any kind of road-going bike is not going to be enough if you want to ride sporty style. So we went out and we got a little hydraulic valves for the front fork, because the SV has normal forks, not upside-down forks, so you cannot fit a cartridge in there. So these hydraulic valves basically simulate the function of an upside-down fork in a traditional one. They control the flow of oil inside the fork, providing better damping. So we installed those, and that was such a huge change. No more bouncing under braking, no more spaghettiness in the frame. It was good. And then the second modification, the second suspension modification was an old GSXR monoshock, the rear suspension. So that also jacked up the bike quite a bit, so I had actually trouble reaching the ground with it after I was done. But I didn't care, right? Because I had a good handling bike for the road, and it had the V engine, and you know, I basically modified it so that I could ride it knee down on the road. And we also got clip-ons for the SV, which was very interesting. It had become like a little cafe racer with a clip-on look and a round headlight. Yeah, so I rode that until I grew out of it, and until my ability to ride bikes has improved so much that basically the SV just wasn't enough anymore. Not because of the engine, mind you, but because of the handling and because of the front tire, and really the rear tire as well. The SV has a 120 to 60 front tire, which means that the sidewall is really low. Not like other sports bikes, they have 120 to 70 wall height. So basically, when you lean the bike, you run out of tire really quickly. So the SV wasn't enough anymore, so I went out and bought the GSXR 600 after like a year of thinking what sports bike should I get, because it really conditions you. I mean, the road that you take in your motorcycling career really conditions you for the next 3 to 4 years, right? Because I was going to keep the GSXR for 3 to 4 years until maybe moving on to something bigger and better, because I was still thinking that motorcycle career is a linear thing. Right, so along came the year 2018, and what happened is that in 2018 I almost didn't ride my GSXR 600 on the road, partly because of just the traffic issues and people on their phones just invading your lane and it becoming really dangerous, but mostly because I didn't have fun anymore. I didn't have fun riding my Supersport 600 on the street. I was conscious of my tires. In every kilometer that I rode, I knew that my tires are getting worn down and I won't have enough good tire left for track days. And tires, they do cost money, so I was just reluctant to go out and just ride for fun. And I missed that. I missed just going on my bike and touring around. I really missed that. So we've made the decision that the GSXRs are going to be truck only. And it was the best decision of my motorcycling life, actually. So we took off the road insurance and the GSXRs became track only bikes, so that we could have the most fun possible in the safest possible environment. Going with a sports bike on the street is dangerous, and when your skill level is such that you no longer are afraid of the speed and you feel that you're in control of the bike because you have progressed so much, you know that your actual riding limits are very far away and you're in control of the bike, and you really are. But you're not in control of other stuff that can happen on the road. You're not in control of people coming at you with cars. You're not in control of other riders that don't know what they're doing and maybe invading your lane. You're not in control of gravel on the ground or a branch that fell down and you can't see it because it's a blind corner, or even like a deer. You're not in control of them, right? So it's really not safe when you're going too fast on the road for your own good. So the GSXRs became track bikes, and I traced down my old SV650 because I sold it 3 years ago to a girl that I was friends with on Facebook. So a year ago I called her up and I said, listen, if you're ever gonna sell the SV, just give me a call, hit me up, I'll buy it back. Because I missed the little thing, you know, it was my first bike in Italy. It's like a first big bike. I have a sentimental attachment to it. So one day, it was, I think in June, she calls me up and she says, hey, listen, the SV is for sale. And I'm like, I'll be right over. So we jumped on our scooter and we rode all the way to near Parma, which is like, I don't know, 150 kilometers from my house, maybe 100 miles. And we got the bike, and it was one of the most emotional, exciting moments of my motorcycling life. Like being reunited with an old friend. You know those videos when the dog waits for the owner to come back home and jumps all over him and pees from excitement? So that was how I felt, and I think the bike felt like that as well. So we got the bike, and in the first couple of months we put like 5,000 kilometers on it. It's now at 40,000 kilometers, the little yellow SV, and I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying motorcycling in a way that I didn't think I would enjoy. Just going slowly around the hills of Bologna, between Bologna and Florence, exploring stuff, finding new ways, going on really shitty roads, like really bad ones, and loving every second of it. So this is how my motorcycling became a non-linear career. Also because I've given it some thought, and I think that you really can enjoy slow bikes, even if you're a sport rider. You can enjoy the naked bikes, the small bikes, the 300s. You can fling those things around the track like crazy. So there is really no preset roadmap for motorcycling. I know it's ironic because that's what motorcycling is all about. It's about the freedom to choose and do the things as you want them, the way you want them. So if you want to buy a big sports bike, go ahead. But remember, there is an entire world out there made of small cylinder bikes and shitty roads. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it. Please subscribe to keep seeing more of this kind of content, and if you have your own first or second bike story, please let me know in the comments below so we can share this experience together. And until next time, ride safe!